So guys, there are secured credit cards that can help you to improve or build your credit score from scratch without charging exorbitant fees and give you rewards at the same time. Now on this channel, I've covered some of the best ones to consider, right? Now there are also secured credit cards which help in building credit but offer no rewards. In this video, we'll be looking at the 5 worst secured credit cards, and if you're looking for a secured credit card, you'll want to stay miles away from the ones on this list. Now, just before we get into it here, if you're new or seeing me for the very first time here, my name is Ian, and here on this channel, I talk about ways to make money, save money, investing, credit cards, and all things personal finance related. So if these are topics that interest you, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to this channel. And when you do so, be sure to turn on the notifications so you can get updated when I post a new video here. And I post a new video here every single day on YouTube. So I recently made a video about the worst credit cards and why you should stay away from them, but those were all unsecured credit cards or regular credit cards, if you will. And if you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out after this one. I also made a video about the differences between unsecured and secured credit cards, and I also did another video about the best starter or secured credit cards to rebuild or even start building your credit with. So it's only fitting that I now show the worst secured credit cards that I could find, just so you guys know, and this can help you in staying far away from them. So the first credit card on this list is the Credit One Secured Platinum Credit Card. Now, this credit card seems to appear in everyone's mailbox at some point or another. At first glance, it looks like it's from Capital One, but it isn't. So don't make the mistake of signing up for this card thinking it's the Capital One Platinum Secured Credit Card, right? They're definitely not the same, and this almost got me. Now, the first problem I found with this card is that there was no set time for processing payments. Credit One says when you submit a payment, regardless of the method, it could take up to an entire week for that payment to be applied to your account. Now, imagine paying your statement balance 1, 2, or even 3 days before the due date, only to find out that the payment is processed or not processed until about the 5th day, and then you're late, and then you're charged a late fee plus the interest. Now, for all other credit cards that I've had, it usually takes a couple minutes to 3 days max. And when I say 3 days max here, I really can't recall the last time I paid a credit card bill and it wasn't applied to the account in just a day or two, right? Now, another red flag is that the terms, conditions, fees, rates, and all that important information aren't given to you until you actually accept the card and get it in the mail, which makes this entire deal even more suspicious. That means the actual annual fees, interest, cash advance fees, all that important information are left out until you actually have the card. But there's more, guys. This gets worse. The worst thing I could find about this card is that Credit One says if you have a grace period, you won't be charged any interest if you pay in full. All other credit cards I know of have a grace period from the date you receive the statement to the due date. This is the time in between statement due dates where you can use the card and whatever you spend will apply to the next statement and also give you time to pay the bill. Now, usually this is almost a month, so if the due date is, let's say, the 24th of the month and the statement is sent on the 3rd of the month, you have between the 3rd and the 24th to make a payment, and if you pay in full, you won't be charged any late fees or interest in that period. But with Credit One, this isn't how they do it. So whenever you make a purchase with this card, you could end up being charged interest from the time the transaction is posted to the account, which I bet is going to be the same day or the day after. Now, the interest rate isn't appealing either. I could actually list a couple more things about this card, but I think I've said enough. For this reason, I would stay clear of this card and go with a better option, which there are many available. The next secured credit card you should avoid is the Verge credit card. This credit card will surge you into over 29% of interest charges if you don't pay on time. Now, to put that into perspective, if you spent $5,000 on this card during a year, the interest would be over $1,200, not including some other fees that they would surge onto your wallet within that period. Now, the annual fee here is $125, and when compared to other secured credit cards that do charge annual fees, most of them are around $30, so this one is almost 4 times that. Now, not to mention that you can only get secured credit cards that don't charge you annual fees, right? That should be enough to tell you to stay away from this secured credit card. Now, they aren't done with surging your wallet just yet though, as in addition to that $125 annual fee, you'll also be paying a $120 annual maintenance fee, which is billed every month at $10. So really, the annual fee here is $245 and not truly $120 as advertised, which is just ludicrous and mind-blowing. But of course, that's not enough, right? There's more. The initial credit limit they give is $500, and of course, if you want a higher limit, you'll be required to pay a fee just to get a higher credit line. Now, another real shocker is that as soon as you get the card, you'll only have $375 after the annual fee. So much for keeping your credit utilization down and repairing your credit. If you do decide to not use the card, then you'll still be charged $10 every month, and if you're late, there will be interest. So just avoid this card at all costs. So guys, we've covered the Surge and now we have the Verge. Maybe they are related, I'm not so sure, but comment if you know the story behind this. Now, the Verge credit card comes with an annual fee of $125 and a credit line of only $500. See the problem already? Just like the Surge, the annual fee is 25% off your credit limit. The APR is over 29%, and there may also be a transaction fee if you use the card of 5%. So instead of charging you an additional $10 a month for a service fee, they'll charge you 5% on all your transactions. Perfect way to keep you in debt. Now, another red flag here is the annual maintenance fee of $60 in addition to the annual fee and the 5% transaction fee, which is billed at $5 to your account every single month. So the true cost of having this card every year is $185 plus 5% of all your transactions. So even by not using the card, you will still be billed and you will be paying interest. Now, the only thing you'll get from this credit card are fees, and a lot of them. It may help you build your credit eventually if you can pay on time, but at a very, very high cost. Now, this is another secured credit card to stay as far as you possibly can from. Now guys, the next card is the First Premier Bank secured credit card. Now, this card has a one-time fee of $95 for a $300 credit line. There are higher credit lines you can get if you choose to deposit more, but the higher up you go, the more they'll charge you for that one-time fee. It's almost as if they're testing your pockets, right? If you can afford a higher credit line, then you'll be charged higher fees. So the annual fee here is $75, and yes, of course, it gets worse as there is another monthly fee which is waived for the first year, but it will be an additional $75 on the second year and thereafter. So after signing up, you'll have $225 left on this card, and then you'll have fees every single month. Now, the interest rate is the worst on the list. It comes in at over 35%. That alone should tell you enough about this card. You'll want to stay miles away from this one. The next card on the list is the Applied Bank Secured Visa Gold Preferred Credit Card. Now, with such a long name, you'd think it would be something good, right? Now, the card boasts a 9.99% interest rate, which never changes, and this sounds really good. Now, the first red flag with this secured credit card is that there is no grace period. Now, as mentioned before, a grace period is the time from when the bill is generated to the due date, and most credit cards give you 20 plus days. Now, during this period, you can pay the bill in full, and you won't be charged any interest on the account. But since this credit card doesn't have a grace period, this means that as soon as the transaction posts to the account, you will begin to incur interest charges. Now, this is just like the Credit One secured card that I mentioned earlier in the video. Seems to be a trending thing now. That 9% in interest charge isn't sounding so good anymore. So for that reason, you should stay away from this card as well. So these are all secured credit cards and the very worst ones I could find. These credit card companies will send you pre-approved cards ready for activation for no reason. Remember to not accept them unless, of course, you like paying fees and you love bad debt. Now, if you'd like to see an alternative to these secured credit cards and the best options out there, then check out my other video about the best starter or secured credit cards. I'll leave a link below to it in the description. Now guys, let's just say this. There's absolutely no reason for you to get any of these cards, no matter what you tell yourself. If you already have one, then that's different because you didn't know, but now you know, so you don't have to get them. There are other alternatives and I have videos about them here on this channel. Now, I hope this video was very helpful and I was able to provide some value to you guys. And if you like this kind of content, be sure to give this video a thumbs up because that will help this video reach more people and I will really appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon so you can get updated when I post new videos here which is at least once per day on YouTube. Now, in addition to this, be sure to also share this video anywhere you think it may be able to reach more people and potentially help someone out as well. If you're a new subscriber or viewer here on the channel, be sure to check out some of my other videos on high-yield savings accounts, checking accounts, investments, credit cards, and ways to make money. Also guys, I've left a couple links below to free stuff and free cashback offers, so be sure to check the links down below in the description for all kinds of free stuff, which includes WEBULL, where you can invest $100, right? Only $100 in anything you wish and get 2 free stocks using the link below that can be valued at up to over $1,000. Once again guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. All the best with your credit cards, and until tomorrow, adios.